Have you ever felt that opportunities appear for some people but remain invisible to you? Have you wondered why certain individuals rise from nothing while others stay trapped in the same place? Have you noticed that two people can face the same situation, yet only one turns it into prosperity? John D. Rockefeller used to say, "Opportunity is invisible to the mind that is not trained to see it." And that is where his hidden formula begins. Rockefeller did not grow up surrounded by success. He grew up surrounded by uncertainty. His father was unpredictable, often gone and financially careless. His mother was stable, disciplined, and unshakable. From her, he learned a lesson that later shaped his entire empire. Poverty is not just a lack of money. Poverty is a lack of awareness. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck, he believed, is not luck. It is perception. Rockefeller discovered early in life that most people walk through the world half asleep. They see problems where opportunities hide. They react emotionally instead of thinking strategically. They blame circumstances instead of studying them. And because their minds are untrained, opportunity passes right in front of them, unnoticed. He practiced the opposite. At 16, when he got his first job as a bookkeeper, he spent hours studying not just numbers, but patterns. He observed how businesses grew, how they failed, how they wasted, how they expanded. He listened more than he spoke, because every detail, every mistake, every success carried a message. He believed that opportunity will speak, but only to the mind that is quiet enough to listen. This was the foundation of his formula. Train the mind, and opportunities reveal themselves. Fail to train it, and poverty becomes inevitable. Rockefeller observed that poor thinkers move through life with three unconscious habits. They respond faster than they reflect. They look for comfort instead of clarity. They fear effort more than they fear stagnation. These habits blind them to openings that could transform their lives. But Rockefeller developed the opposite habits. He reflected before acting. He sought clarity instead of comfort. He embraced difficult thinking as the doorway to progress. He believed that a man escapes poverty the moment he stops asking, "Why isn't there an opportunity?" and starts asking, "What am I not seeing yet?" This internal shift was everything, because opportunity is rarely loud. It rarely arrives packaged as something obviously profitable. It often looks like work, responsibility, or an unglamorous beginning. Rockefeller learned to spot opportunities not by chasing them, but by conditioning his mind to detect value where others saw nothing. And that mental discipline became the engine of his escape from poverty, and the reason he eventually built wealth on a scale the world had never seen. This first block opens the path into his hidden formula. To rise, you must first change the way you see. Rockefeller's hidden formula took shape the day he realized that most opportunities disguised themselves as problems. While others complained about difficulty, he paid attention to it. He believed that when something feels inconvenient, unappealing, or demanding, that is often where the seed of transformation lies. He watched people reject tasks that seemed beneath them, ignore jobs that seemed too ordinary, or avoid responsibilities that seemed too heavy. Rockefeller understood something they did not. The door to opportunity is usually unmarked, and most men walk past it. So he trained himself to move toward difficulty instead of away from it. When he was young and working as a bookkeeper, he studied every invoice, every ledger, every inconsistency. Most of his co-workers saw paperwork. Rockefeller saw pathways. He believed numbers carried clues about weakness, strength, waste, and potential. He became so skilled at reading patterns that he could anticipate how a company would rise or collapse before the owners themselves realized it. Why? Because he understood that opportunity is not found. It is interpreted. He realized that poor thinkers search for perfect conditions before taking action. They say, "When things settle down, when the economy changes, when I feel more ready." Rockefeller rejected this mindset completely. He believed a man staying trapped in poverty is often not trapped by lack of resources, but by waiting for certainty, waiting for comfort, waiting for guarantees. But he taught himself a different formula. Act before the crowd understands. Prepare before others notice. Move while others hesitate. This is how he made decisions that appeared fearless, but in truth were simply the result of extraordinary preparation. He observed longer, listened deeper, and calculated from angles others never considered. But there was another dimension. Rockefeller believed opportunity lives inside relationships, not relationships with powerful people. Those came later. But relationships with anyone who revealed information, perspective, or insight. He listened to laborers, clerks, merchants, bankers, farmers, anyone who understood something he did not. He treated every conversation as a chance to expand his vision, because he understood that opportunity often hides in the mind of someone others overlook. While people chased influential connections, Rockefeller built informational ones. He said, "A man who listens widely will see widely," and that became one of his greatest advantages. From this perspective, escaping poverty was not just about earning more. It was about seeing more possibilities than excuses, more connections than obstacles, more angles than fears. This is why Rockefeller rose when so many others remained stuck. He cultivated a mind that refused the blindness of emotional thinking, victimhood, or impatience. He trained himself to see what others ignored. Block 2 reveals a defining truth of his formula. Opportunity is not external. It is internal perception. And the man who expands his perception will eventually escape poverty, because nothing will remain invisible to him. Rockefeller's formula evolved when he discovered a powerful truth. Opportunity does not appear to those who want it, it appears to those who prepare for it. Most people, he observed, desire success, but resist the habits that success requires. They admire wealth, but avoid the thinking that wealth demands. They hope for breakthroughs, but keep the same patterns that ensure nothing will ever change. Rockefeller refused to live that way. He believed a man escapes poverty the moment he replaces wishful thinking with structured preparation. And that preparation begins internally, long before any opportunity arrives. He once said that a man should build his mind the same way a carpenter builds a foundation, slowly, carefully, and with materials so strong that no storm could destroy it. His preparation took 3 forms. 1. Observation. Discipline. Rockefeller trained himself to notice details others rushed past. He studied books, markets, supply chains, industries, prices, inefficiencies, and even gossip among workers, because every detail, no matter how small, contained information. To him, information was the first currency of opportunity. The poor thinker sees only the surface. The wealthy thinker sees the structure beneath it. Rockefeller chose the second path. 2. Emotional neutrality. He practiced removing emotion from analysis. When fear rose, he stepped back. When excitement surged, he paused. When pressure mounted, he breathed. He believed that opportunities reveal themselves only to the man who is quiet inside, and poverty tightens its grip on those who let emotion erase clarity. His inner calm became a radar that detected possibilities with precision. 3. Relentless accountability. Rockefeller examined his choices as if they belonged to another person. He asked himself, did I act intelligently or impulsively? What pattern am I repeating that holds me back? What am I refusing to learn because it makes me uncomfortable? This ruthless self-honesty separated him from the average worker who avoids seeing his own mistakes. Rockefeller saw mistakes as maps, each one pointing toward improvement. And improvement, he believed, was the engine of opportunity. But there was another key element in his formula: speed of implementation. He did not rush emotionally, but once clarity appeared, he moved quickly. He believed opportunity has a brief lifespan. It calls quietly, opens briefly, and disappears faster than people expect. Most people miss it because they are too slow to act on what they see. Rockefeller combined patience in analysis with speed in execution. This paradox made him unstoppable. When he saw inefficiencies in railroads, he took action. When he noticed weaknesses in competitors, he prepared. When he identified gaps in supply chains, he moved. When he sensed a shift in markets, he adjusted instantly. His rise was not luck. It was the product of a highly trained mind acting with precision the moment the right opening appeared. Block 3 exposes the heart of his formula. Opportunity belongs to the prepared. Poverty belongs to the unprepared, and preparation is a daily discipline, not a moment of inspiration. Rockefeller's formula deepened the moment he realized that opportunities do not always expand your life. Some exist to remove what is destroying it. Most people search for a chance to gain something, but they overlook the chance to release something that holds them back. Rockefeller believed that escaping poverty required subtraction before addition. He often said that a man burdened by poor habits will miss every opportunity standing in front of him. And to him, the three greatest burdens that keep a man poor were impulsive living, emotional spending, mental noise. He recognized that these forces do not simply drain money, they blind the mind. And a blind mind cannot detect openings no matter how close they are. So Rockefeller began cutting away everything that clouded his perception. 1. He removed financial impulsiveness. While others bought to feel good, to impress, or to imitate, Rockefeller bought with intention. Every purchase had a reason, a plan, and a purpose. He believed that money spent emotionally is not just lost, it becomes silence in the mind, preventing sound judgment. He often said, "Control your impulses and opportunity will recognize you." 2. He eliminated distractions. Rockefeller treated attention as a financial asset. He minimized noise, gossip, chaos, unnecessary entertainment, and pointless conversations. He believed distraction was the silent tax that kept people poor without them ever noticing. To him, attention was the lens through which opportunity became visible. A blurred lens meant a blurred life. 3. He removed limiting relationships. Rockefeller surrounded himself with people who thought clearly and worked with discipline. He distanced himself from pessimists, complainers, and those who mistook laziness for misfortune. He believed that environments either sharpen or dull the mind, and a dull mind will remain in poverty even when swimming in opportunity. But Rockefeller understood something even more subtle. Sometimes the greatest opportunity in a poor man's life is simply a chance to change direction. Most people never rise because they cling to paths that no longer serve them. They stay in jobs they outgrew, habits that restrain them, identities they never questioned. Rockefeller believed that life constantly offered exit opportunities, moments when a man could leave behind what kept him small. These moments were rarely glamorous, rarely obvious, rarely comfortable. But to Rockefeller, these were sacred opportunities, a chance to evolve, a chance to rethink, a chance to rebuild. He believed that poverty thickens around a person who refuses to change their direction when circumstances demand it, and wealth gravitates toward the person who is willing to release the old to step into the new. Block 4 reveals a deeper truth of Rockefeller's formula. Opportunity enters a life cleared of noise, distraction, and impulse. Poverty clings to the life that refuses to let go. Sometimes the first step toward success is removing what blinds you. As Rockefeller refined his ability to remove distractions and destructive habits, he uncovered the next part of his hidden formula. Opportunity grows in the soil of consistency, not intensity. Most people, he noticed, make the same fatal mistake. They work in bursts. They try hard for a week, learn intensely for a month, or set goals in moments of motivation, and then fall back into the same patterns that kept them poor. Rockefeller believed this cycle was the very engine of poverty. He watched people start enthusiastically, then collapse the moment results slowed. He saw men chase quick wins, abandon long-term plans, and lose years jumping from idea to idea. They were not failing because they were incapable. They were failing because they were inconsistent. Rockefeller developed the opposite behavior, quiet consistency. He believed that wealth rewards the man who shows up daily, even when no one notices. He trained himself to work steadily, to study steadily, to analyze steadily. He understood that real opportunity rarely appears to impatient minds. He said, "If you cannot remain steady in small things, large things will never come to you." So he created daily disciplines that strengthened his perception. 1. A discipline of daily analysis. Every evening, Rockefeller reviewed the day. What had he learned? What patterns had he noticed? What small signs hinted at change? While others ended their day with distraction, he ended his day with reflection. 2. a discipline of small improvements. Rockefeller believed in the compounding power of micro-advancements. Each day he tried to understand one process better, observe one mistake more clearly, or analyze one element of business more deeply. He said that a man who improves 1% each day becomes unrecognizable in a year, while the man waiting for a big moment remains the same forever. 3. A discipline of strategic patience. Perhaps Rockefeller's greatest strength was his ability to wait, not with passivity but with preparation. He waited with awareness, with discipline, with readiness. To him, patience was not standing still. Patience was sharpening the mind until the right moment revealed itself. He believed that poverty tightens its grip on those who underestimate small beginnings. Most people reject opportunities because they seem too insignificant or too slow. Rockefeller embraced small beginnings because he knew they were the true starting points of every great fortune. He often repeated, "Great opportunities begin as small inconveniences." And because he respected small beginnings, he saw possibilities long before his competitors even recognized their existence. But Rockefeller also noticed something else. Many people sabotage opportunities not because they are unaware, but because they carry a hidden belief that they are unworthy of success. This belief feeds procrastination, excuses, and hesitation. It anchors them to poverty without chains. Rockefeller fought this by cultivating an identity of reliability. He became a man who kept promises, met deadlines, honored work, and delivered results. He believed opportunity gravitates to the reliable because reliability is rare. Block 5 reveals the next truth of his formula. Opportunity grows in consistency. Poverty grows in inconsistency. A steady mind creates a future unstable circumstances cannot destroy. As Rockefeller's philosophy matured, he reached the most profound element of his hidden formula, the one that ultimately decides who escapes poverty and who remains trapped in it, the ability to think beyond the present moment. He believed that poverty endures in the life of a person whose vision stops at today, while opportunity blooms for the person who can see years ahead. To Rockefeller, long-term thinking wasn't a luxury, it was a survival skill. He often said, "A man who only sees the present will forever repeat his past." This belief guided him relentlessly. He watched how people made decisions based on immediate comfort, temporary emotion, or the illusion of quick results. He understood that the poor thinker chases relief, while the wealthy thinker builds direction. Rockefeller trained his mind to project himself into the future, to imagine the consequences of choices before making them, to anticipate risks before they appeared, and to prepare for obstacles long before most people even sensed danger. This forward-thinking mindset shaped 5 core behaviors that defined his success. 1. He invested with the future in mind. While others spent money to feel wealthy today, Rockefeller invested so he could become wealthy tomorrow. He placed value on assets, systems, and long-term structures. He believed the future belonged to the man who planted seeds, while others were searching for shade. 2. He built systems, not moments. Rockefeller didn't look for one-time opportunities, he looked for repeating ones. He created processes that worked even when he wasn't watching, mechanisms that generated growth steadily, and financial architectures that strengthened themselves. He believed true opportunity is not a single event, it is a structure you build. 3. He mastered resilience as a skill. Rockefeller understood that setbacks were not signals of failure, but invitations to adapt. He believed that the man who survives storms eventually owns the land others abandoned. In his mind, resilience was not emotional toughness, it was strategic thinking under pressure. 4. He used time as an ally. While others feared time, Rockefeller embraced it. He believed that time multiplies preparation, exposes the unprepared, and magnifies discipline. He did not rush success. He built conditions under which success became unavoidable. 5. He shaped a wealthy identity. The most powerful part of Rockefeller's formula was this: he became the kind of man opportunity sought. He embodied discipline, clarity, reliability, patience, and strategic vision, qualities that naturally attract openings others spend their lives chasing. He believed that escaping poverty required a transformation of identity before a transformation of circumstances, and that is where his hidden formula reaches its deepest truth. Opportunity is not something you wait for. It is something you become able to see. Rockefeller escaped poverty not because he was gifted, lucky, or destined for wealth, but because he crafted a mind incapable of missing the chances life offered. He sharpened his perception, trained his awareness, prepared his habits, and built a character strong enough to handle prosperity. In the end, his formula can be summarized in one timeless principle: change your mind, and your opportunities will change. Change your opportunities, and your life will change.